Namaste to all of you. I'm today going to interact with one of the most influential human beings on the globe today, Subhash Patriji. This conversation, we have termed it as Birth and Death, Conversations on Life. And Patriji is known for his straightness, not a kind of blunt straightness, but a straightness that is so refreshing. I've had the privilege of interacting with him in fun, in humor, in lightness, and also in the profoundness of community meditations. This is an opportunity for all of us to understand a few things about birth and death in these conversations on life. Patriji sir, thank you so much for being here, sir.
Namaskar.
Sir, when I was planning this conversation, I was looking at what should I converse with Patriji on. Because I think when we met last time, you spoke about how not being in complaint is Buddhahood. And before that, when we met, not wanting anything is meditation. It has had a profound impact in your simple expressions. It has had a profound impact on my life, the way I interact with my children, the way I interact in my business and all. This is an opportunity for me to interact with you and bring it to the world the kind of influence that spirituality and especially specifically meditation can have on all human beings. But I'll begin with some specific questions, sir. Now, one of the most important questions I have in my mind is, where does actually life begin? Does life begin with birth? Or is life, even before birth? Where does life actually begin?
Before you came into this room, were you living?
I was.
Okay, same thing with this. Before we come into this body and this world also, we were living.
You are living.
Yeah. So, life is beginningless,
correct?
And endless. That's why it is called as Anadi Ananta. Life is beginningless.
Correct, sir.
And endless.
Yeah.
So,
we understand that conceptually, sir. And
when we have to understand that conceptually only,
okay,
then slowly to come into our experience.
Okay.
First of all, you think of going to America conceptually. Somewhere there is America. But then, when you were a child, America was there. But when you become an adult, you may plan to go to America.
Very true.
Then you may go to America and come back many times.
Right.
Same thing also.
Right.
We don't have any conception about life. We think that life begins with the birth from our mother's womb.
Correct.
And when we go to death, that is the end of it. That is the normal conception. But as we evolve in spirituality and meditation, you see much bigger picture, and you will understand finally that you are beginningless and endless.
Yeah. I get that.
Yes.
So even when we don't experience it, it is important to have this conception.
Yes. Even when you don't have, see, have you gone to the moon?
No, not at all.
But you know about the moon, isn't it?
Exactly.
You should have knowledge about the moon. Yes. Similarly, that knowledge is very important.
I get that.
Have you seen Akbar?
Not at all.
But do you know about Akbar?
I know. I've studied.
Should you know or should you not know?
I should know about Akbar.
And so, even when you can't see Akbar now, you can know about Akbar.
Very true.
Similarly, even when you don't know about life before birth and life after death, you must know about it.
Beautiful, sir. So, the very conception itself will open up a lot of possibilities for us in life.
Yes.
When we sense that life doesn't have a beginning, doesn't have an end, it is Anadi Ananta. Now, imagining that we don't have such a conceptualization, how will life be?
Horrible.
We experience tension. We experience stress.
Yes. Every minute is a tension. When you think that birth is a birth and death is a death.
That's right.
But when you understand that birth is not the birth and death is not the death, there is no tension. There is only play, lila.
Beautiful, sir. Beautiful. So, in a way, what you are saying is that our quality of life, the way we experience life, is directly connected to the way we experience or the conceptualization about Anadi and Ananta.
Your life pattern directly follows your conceptual patterns.
Okay.
For example, if you are a communist, there is no God for you.
Very true.
Your life is horrible. So you can kill anybody and get rid of anything. Because there is no God to punish you.
Correct.
But when you understand that there is a God and you have to follow the law of karma, that whatever action you do will have repercussions, your whole actions will change.
That's right. That's right.
So your concepts determine your life patterns.
I get that, sir. Exactly. You know, the way we think, the way we conceive the world actually determines the way we live our life, the patterns that we follow. I get that.
So, what is that your concept of life and death? That's very important for every person. If you have you can have two kinds of concepts. You can have a right concept, you can have a wrong concept. If you have a wrong concept about it, which is not in line with the truth of the subject,
Correct.
then you will have an unhappy life.
That's right.
And if your concept is on the right track,
Correct.
is aligned rightly with the actual truth, then your life is very smooth.
Can I venture to ask you, sir? Do you remember as a bifurcation between your life before enlightenment and after enlightenment?
Of course, so.
How is it different?
See, before enlightenment, my enlightenment, I was searching for enlightenment. Sometimes very consciously, sometimes very unconsciously.
Very true.
But I knew that I was searching for enlightenment. So when I became enlightened, I knew that I became enlightened. It's like this, when you are hungry, you know that you are hungry. When you have eaten something and the hunger is no more there, you know that there is no hunger.
Very true.
Same way, when you are not enlightened, you are still confused, you don't know what path to follow in your life. What is your future for you? You are tentative. Your actions are tentative.
Exactly.
But when you become enlightened, you are no more tentative. You are certain what to do, what not to do.
Very true.
William Shakespeare said, to do or not to do is $1 million question. Correct. Before enlightenment.
Correct.
But after enlightenment, you are definite what to do, what not to do.
True. True.
So that question doesn't arise.
In fact, I think you said right. The ultimate question that we all get into is to do or not to be is the question.
That's it.
We are all always entangled in that question, to do or not do and all.
That is common for every person who is not yet enlightened.
Okay.
And that question doesn't at all. That question gets dissolved once you become enlightened.
Wonderful. So, since we were talking about birth, none of us have, at least I don't have the memory of my childhood.
Nobody has.
Nobody has.
See, when they come into meditation, Buddha had got no idea. Only when at the age of 29 he started search for truth.
Okay.
Then by the age of 35 he got enlightenment.
Acha.
So it took 5.5 years for him.
Okay.
After he began the sincere search. So it takes time. For Mahavir it took 12 years. For you and I it will take different times.
Correct.
For everybody it's a different time. Once they begin the search, then they complete the search.
I get that, sir.
So the time depends upon your own circumstances, your past lives.
That's right.
Your determination and all these things.
So, when we were born, we were born to a particular parent, in a particular community, in a particular region, to a particular kind of economic status and all. In fact, we don't have any control on the kind of life that we choose to when we are born. That's the way
we think.
We think.
But when you become enlightened, you will understand that you have chosen your own parents, you have chosen your own birth, whether with eyes or without eyes, you choose.
Okay.
Sometimes you choose your own. You want to be raped and you understand what is getting raped. So you plan even that and come here. So many things you plan. Every important twist and turn in your life you plan. But you will understand this only after your enlightenment, not before.
That's right, sir.
These are common things for everybody.
Right. Now, given these circumstances, which is our life is actually predetermined in a way, pre-planned in a way, and it has a design, and there is a choice that we have made of the parents or the kind of, including experiences of rape, as atrocious as
that.
There is a choice that we have made. In that choice, there is an aspect of learning that we are inviting ourselves into. We want to experience that, or
it is like in a film movie. You say somebody chooses to be a villain. Then he has to rape somebody.
Correct.
He has to kidnap somebody.
Correct.
He has to murder somebody.
True.
But all these are actions.
True. That's true.
Only in a drama. So all the world is also a stage. We are all here to act. So from the other side, it's all a drama.
Correct.
So you choose your own experiences. Whatever you want to undergo. Why people want to choose villainous roles? Why not hero roles? No, it's not like that. A film requires all kinds of roles.
Correct. That's right.
So you will choose your own difficulties.
Correct.
challenges in your life and come here to improve yourself.
That's right.
See, if you are as an actor, if you are good as a hero, then you must be good also as a villain.
Very true. Because you are acting it out.
You are just acting it.
Correct. And you jolly well act
it
it
is your
out.
action capacity that you are testing.
Correct.
Okay.
Whatever be the role.
Whatever be the role.
Whatever be the role, you act it out.
You may act like a madman also.
Correct. So now, these are all very, very interesting. I mean, the way you are talking, if I listen to all these things on a train conversation or just sipping tea somewhere with friends and I listen to this conversation, I don't think I will have an impact. As I sit here with you, directly in touch with you, there is an impact on me. In fact, if you believe me or not, I have prepared with some text. But as I am conversing with you, you can notice that I am not even looking into the text.
Naturally, you cannot look into the text.
I am not looking into the text. There is a flow. Now, with this, what I want to relate is, parents are there. I am a parent. I have a 17-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old son. And when my daughter was born, I started experiencing anxiety about how my daughter will learn or not, whether she will learn ABCD or not and all. But only when I crossed that stage of being the father of a very young child, I started sensing that it was not necessary, totally unnecessary. Now, you being here and having had one of the finest architectural pieces in India, like Pyramid Valley with beautiful pyramid around pyramid energy and all, what role, sir, do you think that Pyramid Valley can play in adding value to the young parents' life so the children get added value?
Pyramid Valley is the best place in the whole world.
Yeah. To
train every kind of person. You are a parent or a child, teacher or a student, king or kingmaker.
Correct.
Everybody has to learn from Pyramid Valley.
Correct.
So Pyramid Valley has got contribution to the whole of mankind. Okay, in every department. Because without spirituality, your material life is always full of problems.
That's right.
Only spirituality will help you.
Correct.
And this Pyramid Valley is the headquarters of spirituality, the headquarters of spiritual science, the headquarters of spiritual compassion, spiritual temper. So everybody should come here. Parents and children, both.
So as parents come here, I am very sure that parents will evolve. They will experience something within themselves which will help them expand.
Yes.
Now, in that expansion, that's what I have experienced in my life. As I evolved as a meditator, I saw that the kind of problems I used to get stuck in was something I was able to resolve for myself and deal with them more powerfully than the way I used to do before meditation.
That is the case with every person who comes into meditation.
True.
Whether he is educated or not educated.
Yeah.
Whether he is from rural basis or from urban background.
Correct.
Whether he is a male or a female.
Yeah.
Whether he is a grahastha or a sannyasi. Everybody will be benefited by Pyramid Valley.
Very true.
In absolute terms.
Correct. There is a reason for me to ask this question, sir. I had been to some TV channels. They had called me to interact about some WhatsApp, video that was circulating around about a child being mistreated. The child is being taught some tables and the child is not able to recite the tables properly. And the parent, I think, or the tuition teacher gets extremely angry and keeps on punishing the child. Somehow that video was there and it got circulated. Now, this will certainly have some impact on the child in the long run, short run.
But first of all, you can never have that, you don't have the right to touch the body of anybody else.
That's right, sir.
More so children.
Correct.
The males are ill-treating the females, and both the parents are ill-treating their children. The teacher is ill-treating the student. You cannot manhandle anybody.
Okay.
That is prima facie rolled out.
Absolutely.
That's a big crime.
Correct.
What right have you got to put your hand on anybody else's body?
Right. No. Correct. You don't have.
So, you can verbally correct him.
Correct.
But not.
We can't.
That's wrong.
We should never.
So whoever does it is absolutely wrong.
Absolutely. But this happens. The reality of society is such that these incidents keep happening, and the media channels and all, it keeps getting projected out. Now here, there is some amount of emotional energy that actually plays out in the parent, the anxiety, the fear about the future of the child. All these things play out in such a way that the parent thinks that the parent really is doing something good for the child.
No, that's why we need meditation and enlightenment to know what is good and bad. Before enlightenment, you think the good is bad and the bad is good.
Correct.
For example, the doctors say, for strength, eat meat.
Correct.
It's wrong. They are advising for so-called good reasons.
Correct.
But actually, it's a very bad thing
Very true.
to kill animals and eat.
Correct.
So they don't know what is good and bad
Very true.
because they are not yet enlightened.
Very true.
Because they never sought enlightenment. Everybody should seek enlightenment, and then they will get enlightenment. Then only after enlightenment you will understand what is good and what is bad.
Beautiful, sir.
What is good and bad for you is also good and bad for others.
Correct. Correct. It's about the common good.
Common good.
Exactly.
I am a human being, and whatever is good for me is also plays the same role for every other human being.
So, this is where I want to bring your experience itself, sir. See, we are all constrained by the need to perform. It could be to perform in the exam. It could be to perform in the sales targets that as a salesman we need to do, or a CEO has to show performance of the organization or the business.
To whom have we are we here to show performance? No.
Yeah.
We are here to perform for ourselves, to our satisfaction. We are not here to satisfy others' egos.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah. But this anxiety exists about
because you are not enlightened.
Not enlightened.
Everything comes back to enlightenment.
That's right.
All anxiety is because of lack of enlightenment.
Yeah. Very interesting, sir. So, when there is lack of enlightenment, there is certainly anxiety because you don't know. You are doing it to perform, but people experience in reality, a 10th standard child experiences that kind of anxiety or the parent.
We had all gone through all those experiences because we were not enlightened at that time.
Correct.
In the school, after my schooling, 12th class, when I didn't get a seat in
medical or engineering.
I went for suicide attempt.
You were speaking about yourself?
Myself.
Are you sure, sir?
Yes.
Wow.
I early morning I went in Hyderabad to Tangband to jump into the water. Early morning 4:30, only I was there.
I think nobody would have heard of this experience before.
No, see, so because in the school, if you are not getting a seat in MBBS, you are a stupid fellow.
You are a stupid.
You are a failure.
Exactly.
Because your brother is an engineer. No, you must be a doctor.
Your life is not worth living.
So I went to commit suicide, but somehow somebody like you saved me.
It's beautiful, sir, for you. The way you talk is very different. So here, directly come to the question, sir. The way I see from the world of society and all, you are an extraordinary performer. You go there, influence people, you click your fingers. I mean, I'm using in metaphoric language. But when you conduct Buddha Purnima here in Pyramid Valley, or when you conduct the Maha Dhyana in Hyderabad, Kartal, it's not easy to have 50,000 people. 50,000 people coming there meditating, 5,000 people coming there meditating, and that you do quite effortlessly. And that's what I see as performance. How many pyramids have come? How many people you touch every year? How many lives have transformed? So there is a performance. How was your performance? Suppose, you are performing in the spiritual world in creating pyramids, meditators and spiritual leaders all around. And also tell the viewers that Patriji sir was an agricultural scientist before. He has a master's in agricultural sciences, and you also worked somewhere, sir?
I worked in a fertilizer company.
He has worked in a fertilizer
department for 17 years.
Which department, sir?
Marketing department.
In the marketing department of fertilizer company, there also there was some performance of yours, sir?
Of course.
That was in a way your professional life. And here you have a performance in the spiritual life. Just for the sake of a conversation, how do you compare these two performances?
See, in my company, for the first 3 years, I worked hard because I didn't know the subject. I was new to marketing. It was very interesting and I worked hard. And it was giving me a lot of satisfaction. Not that I performed in others' eyes, but I really performed in my eyes. After 3 years, when I got into routine, then my attention diverted from material life to spiritual life. Then I didn't care for my job. So I just worked for the sake of my salary.
I got that.
Because I was not interested really in the subject or in the project or in my career there. I just swam in the company. So I was not bothered about performance at all.
You were just doing it so that...
Actually, after 10 years in the company, I wanted to get out of the company. It took again 6 years for me to get out of the company. And in the final years, I was not at all performing. I was only taking the salary. And because I was waiting for them to kick me out. I could start my spiritual career very in earnest.
More seriously.
Yes.
Okay. So ultimately, did they kick you out?
Finally, they did kick me out. I arranged so.
So, Patriji has confessed now that he was kicked out of his company. Sorry.
I was not kicked out.
Okay.
Almost that situation was there, so I kicked myself out.
But how was the situation like? I mean, as middle class human beings, we experience some kind of tension when our income goes down and all. How was that experience for you? Or
see, I was waiting to get out of the job. I was desperate.
I get that.
I knew I was the quality of a Buddha.
Yeah.
So how can a Buddha still be in the palace? Buddha must be on the roads. And so I'm lingering in the palace. I must go onto the roads. I was waiting for that step. So I resigned my job, ultimately, in the year 1992.
1992.
And then I was happy since then, roaming on the roads.
Roaming on the roads. Okay. Now
I'm not a roadside Romeo, I'm a roadside Buddha.
Not a road Romeo, but a road, Buddha.
Yes.
Buddha on the road.
On the roads.
Buddha on the road. In fact, that's, I think, how I would also look at you. The amount of travel that you do, all these things. I think Buddha on the road is the right description of you. Somebody who knows what his life is about. There is nothing that stops you in dealing with that, and that's amazing. Now, we were conversing on birth, sir, somehow. We are looking at this aspect of birth. And we understood that birth is something that we make a choice, the kind of parents we get, and the kind of experiences we choose is all.
It's a very phenomenal knowledge to understand that birth was a choice.
Exactly.
That's a very great U-turn in your conceptual thinking.
Yeah.
That what happens in enlightenment. When you understand that your birth was a choice, your life conditions are a choice,
Yeah.
that everything was a choice,
Correct.
you are relieved.
Beautiful. That's right.
You are totally relieved. And you are living before you are born, and you will live after your death. These are all the earth-shaking events
Correct.
in anybody's life.
Correct.
And that's what constitutes enlightenment. And that enlightenment can come from various sources. Because you have seen some great master, you can become enlightened. Or you have seen some great nature, you can become enlightened. Or you have done meditation, you can become enlightened. Various ways are there.
That's right.
But somehow you will come to understand that you are birthless and deathless soul.
Sir?
You are a birthless and deathless soul.
Yeah.
When you understand that, everything changes.
Correct, sir. But this aspect that you are relating to about choice, human beings in their ordinary sense are not able to understand this aspect of choice.
They are not at all able to understand choice.
Even in our ordinary consciousness, we can't understand choice. As you are talking about
But if you apply your common sense, you will understand it. People don't apply even their common sense.
Yeah.
That's where, see, when Gautam Buddha went out of the palace and saw one person,
correct,
who is dead,
yeah,
he asked his charioteer,
correct,
would I also be dead? Like that, sir, everybody will be dead.
Yeah.
There, the matter finished. Beautiful. And he saw one old age. He said, will I also become old? Yes, Swami, you will also become old. The mind got shattered. Yeah. That is raw common sense.
Raw common sense.
But even we see with 1,000 deaths, we don't think that we will die. In Yaksha Prashnas, the Yaksha asked Dharmaraja, what is the most astonishing thing in this world? And Yudhishthira, Dharmaraja, replied, the most astonishing thing in this world is that people see everybody is dying, but they never think that they can die.
Exactly.
This is the most astonishing thing. This is the answer given by Yudhishthira. The lack of common sense. Buddha had common sense, great common sense. Therefore, with one death, he became a master. He changed the whole life pattern.
So, is there a difference between knowing, for instance, we know conceptually that we go old, we may fall ill, we may ultimately lose our body. There is a knowing. How do we?
There is a knowing and there is also a non-knowing.
Okay.
There is knowing that everybody dies.
Yeah.
But when your mother dies, when your father dies, when your wife dies, when your husband dies, you start crying.
Correct.
Don't you know that they all die?
Exactly.
Everybody knows.
Yeah.
But when the death comes, you are not able to bear that experience.
We are shaken.
Right. If you are conceptually strong, you should not be shaken by that experience.
Correct.
You are conceptually correct but not strong.
Correct. So there is a philosophical difference between, I'm a student of philosophy, sir, to some extent. When I did my literature, there was an interdisciplinary study that I did of some philosophy, like studying a little bit about Wittgenstein, Sartre, things like that. I remember those college days, university days, when we were exploring this aspect of knowing itself. There is a difference that, in the philosophical tradition, they say that there is a difference between knowing and seeing, looking and knowing. Is it that we know conceptually that something like death is there, or we also know, as parents also know that,
everybody knows that.
Yeah, parents know that, children should be given freedom and all, we also talk. But when it actually comes to the circumstances of life, there is some pressure. The child is not saying some rhyme there or something like that. What exactly is that? How do we grow into that kind of seeing with clarity so that we know what is?
That's where meditation comes in.
Okay.
You may read Bhagavad Gita, you may understand Bhagavad Gita, but you should do meditation.
Correct.
Only when you do meditation will you understand really Bhagavad Gita.
Correct.
You will experience it.
Correct.
So meditation is practical knowledge. Theoretical knowledge, conceptual knowledge is important to understand, go into practical knowledge. But practical experience is very important to understand whatever you have learned.
Very true. Very true.
Everybody should give time for meditation.
Correct.
Everybody.
Is there a strategy to it, sir?
What strategy?
I'll explain this question to you, sir. I really believe that meditation can transform. That's my experience. And when I consult with schools, I do something called parenting sessions with them. And they come with problems, like my child doesn't do spelling properly and all. I tell them, I sometimes as a professional, I don't tell them blunt, like the way you say, meditate and all. I explain to them and all. And I asked them to meditate, and we conducted one session also in a particular school to meditate and all. Then they again came out, we meditate, every day we are meditating, but still, my child's problem is not getting solved.
They are not meditating.
Okay. How do we do that? Is there a strategy in way we approach the people, teach the people?
See,
how can Pyramid Valley help in that?
For any question, the answer is meditation.
Even to this question.
Small question or big question. Correct. For any problem, the answer is meditation. Small problem or big problem. So, and meditation is not so very easy.
Correct.
It's a difficult proposition. It demands a lot of concentration, a lot of willpower.
Correct.
And if you don't have that concentration, that willpower, it won't happen overnight. You have to wait and wait and wait. So it's not so very easy as we teach and they become masters. No.
Correct.
So a lot of determination is required.
Very true. So is it that we become too
and we have to follow up the case until they become determined for doing meditation. We have to give constant inspiration to them.
Okay. That's
what happen overnight.
Exactly. That's what we should follow. We stand for them. We allow them.
Once a month they come to you for consultation. It will allow them. They have to be daily at you, and you have to be daily at them.
Correct. That's right, sir. So
once you are behind a person and make him do meditation, he will become master meditation, and he will educate 1 lakh people.
Correct. That's right.
You don't have to consult and give advice to 1 lakh people. At least one person. You train them, and that one person will train others.
Correct.
So that one person you should train, like Arjuna got trained by Drona.
Correct.
Drona was training everybody.
Exactly. He was
so you should train your people like that.
Correct, sir. I get that.
Krishna had got 4 disciples: Rukmini, Uddhava, Arjuna, and Vidura.
Vidura also?
4 people. He trained only 4 people.
Okay. Trained in this...
Trained particularly. Concentrating on them. He must have spoken to everybody on spirituality. But he chose these 4 people to train them.
Wow. Is there a reason for that choice? It's very interesting to know that.
See, Krishna trained Rukmini, but he did not train Satyabhama or other wives.
Correct.
And he trained only Rukmini Devi because she had that quality. See, if you don't have the aptitude, you can't train them.
Exactly.
If they don't have aptitude for meditation, let them come for the next lifetime. So what?
Exactly.
Where is the hurry for you? We have got eternity on our hands. When you are enlightened, there is no hurry.
Very true.
And there is no worry.
Exactly. At the same time, you don't waste your time.
You don't waste your time. Because you won't waste your time. Krishna will not waste his time on Satyabhama teaching meditation. he will not listen to him.
Exactly.
Rukmini will listen to him for meditation. So he will spend more time with Rukmini to teach meditation and no time at all with Satyabhama.
In a way, you are saying that the master delicately knows what is important to be done and does it.
And what is the attitude and aptitude of others?
Correct.
It's not what my attitude towards you. What is your attitude and what is your aptitude?
Correct.
Along those lines I will move.
Exactly.
And not all people are in a hurry to learn meditation.
It's not.
Only some people are in a hurry to learn meditation in this lifetime.
Yeah.
The other people will become thirsty for meditation next lifetime.
Correct.
So what?
Yeah.
Your eternity itself.
Exactly. You have all the time.
So we are not actually behind any person who is not worthy of your attention.
True.
They must be worthy of your attention.
Correct. Yes.
I've got my own brothers and children, brothers and their children, and my sisters and their children.
Yeah.
They are not at all interested in meditation.
Okay.
But if you are interested, I'll go to Betul and talk to you.
Exactly. I heard of you doing that.
But my own sister and brother, they are not interested. Correct. So I don't go to them and neither they do come to me.
Exactly.
I'm not bothered about them.
Exactly.
Because they are not bothered about meditation. All my family members, my blood relations, nobody is interested in meditation.
Okay.
Nobody means nobody. So who cares? They themselves don't care for truth and for happiness and for liberation and for enlightenment. So how would we care?
Wow.
We don't care.
Wow, this is a beautiful thing. It's just a wow moment in the sense, personally also, all my struggle is about seeing to it that my mother says Shabas to me. My father somehow approves of my work. Or my wife says, darling, you have done a great job. It's all about approval. And you here, just look at what matters to you, what matters to the world of meditation. Go ahead and do it. That's all. Beautiful. It's so beautiful, sir. It's such a beautiful thing. Now, somehow I want to connect this conversation. I don't know whether I am trying to force an outcome, but
you can't force an outcome.
You can't exactly. Especially meditation quite seriously. I took meditation quite seriously because I found that my income is expanding. I enjoy being with my children. I think some of my friends, even in Pyramid Valley, have seen how I take my child to a trekking or how I spend time with them and all. Amazing. For me, one of the motivations I have for meditation is that I am calm so that I can participate with my children. That's one of the motivations. Having motivation for meditation. What do you say about this, sir? This is a motivation. I want to have a great life with my children.
Your motivation for meditation comes from past lifetimes.
Okay.
If you have not done any meditation in the past lifetimes, a little motivation might come to you in this lifetime, but not much. Okay. Everything is a gradual affair. Beautiful. Nothing falls from the sky. So you and I were motivated into meditation many lifetimes back. That's why we are having a conversation on meditation here like this. Otherwise, this wouldn't happen. It would never happen.
Beautiful. It's very profound to understand that your motivation is not motivation that has come now. It has a profound background to it. I think I was looking at the question of motivation. And Patriji, I think, has uncollapsed this. I thought, I am motivated to meditate because I find peace. I find it easy to deal with my children. Not that I don't get angry or not that I don't get frustrated, but there is a way in which I am dealing with powerfully. So that's what I thought motivates me. And motivation is, there are a lot of motivational talks. It's a huge industry. And my motivation for meditation comes from there. So, is it good to have that motivation, or I want you to give an understanding on that, sir. This concept of motivation.
Motivation is a very good word, very good concept. Everybody should be motivated. We should make all our efforts to motivate everybody all the time. Given all that, motivation for meditation, enlightenment comes only from past lifetimes. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bahunam janmanamante gnanavan mam prapadyate.
Okay. Some.
Bahunam janmanamante, and after many lifetimes. Gnanavan, a man who has got some common sense.
Correct.
Mam prapadyate. Mam means meditation.
Okay.
He's talking about meditation. He's not talking about his personality.
Exactly.
He will start worshipping meditation. Mam prapadyate. Mam is not Krishna.
I know.
Mam is meditation.
Yeah.
So bahunam janmanam ante. Gnanavan mam prapadyate. Vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma suddurlabha. Such people who have got such common sense are very rare to find. Suddurlabha. Not common. Exactly. Common sense is not common.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true.
So it takes many lifetimes for you to be motivated really into meditation.
Okay.
So as far as your case is concerned, you have done a lot of meditation in past lifetimes. Therefore, you readily came into meditation. You are motivated by birth.
I see that.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Nobody ever motivated you into meditation. You motivated yourself.
Correct.
Same thing with me. Nobody motivated me.
Yeah.
I motivated myself.
Yeah.
Okay. This comes only from past lifetimes.
Yeah. Correct.
And my own kith and kin, they never had any past life meditation. So even though they are my brothers and sisters and my close relations, they are not motivated. Even in spite of seeing my life from close quarters, they are not motivated. Whether somebody else from some other place just listens about me or hears about me and they come here to learn meditation.
Correct.
Today morning, one man came from Turkey.
Achha.
He said, my family is very good, my economics is very good, my work is very good. I have taken 3 months holiday to do something special, and I was contacting somebody in Delhi, and they said, go to Pyramid Valley. He came in the valley just for half an hour to meet me. So how is he motivated?
Exactly.
He took a flight from Delhi to Bengaluru just to be with me for about half an hour, and he went back.
Exactly. How do you explain that motivation?
So how would you explain that?
Exactly.
Actually, he was not even search for meditation. He was search for some good time for 3 months. So some conversation he met to our Dil and Shastri from Hyderabad,
I know.
Delhi. So he said, this man wanted to go to some Dalai Lama, some other place. Because people know about Dalai Lama.
Correct.
Nobody knows about me. So when Dil and Shastri spoke about me, he took a flight and came here in the morning.
Okay.
Spent about 1 hour with me and went back.
Okay. Good.
So that is called a motivation.
Correct.
Who motivated him? Nobody. His own previous life samskaras made him take that decision.
That's right. You can't explain such motivation where people take a 3-hour flight.
That is why bahunam janmanam ante.
Exactly.
Gnanavan mam prapadyate. Vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. Such people are very rare.
Very true. It's very rare to get such
Very rare to get. That's what I told him. It's a very rare species you have.
Correct.
You came all the way from Turkey.
Yeah.
You got 3 months free time. He said, I have got 3 months free time.
Correct.
I want to do something special.
Yeah.
And this fit in with that concept.
So, I mean, the way I am looking at it is that, of course, there is a motivation to which we meditate because, after some time I find it, I enjoy my flights and train journeys because I get my full time to meditate. That's the kind of thing I experience. To just sit, meditate, nobody is going to disturb me in the flight as I simply sit there and meditate. There is joy. I'm waiting for that joy to happen. And in being in that joy, I'm able to see that had I not come into meditation in the year 2005, you came there, 2005, I entered the world of meditation and I think I meditated for 1 hour. That was a very profound experience. I felt so fresh the whole night. Next day morning I was feeling
Say
fresh.
a few words about yourself for the sake of everybody. Who are you? What are you? Your name, your profession, and how we met each other.
I will talk my profession in a way that should really be an impact on people. In fact, I should tell sir, I'm an educational consultant, and when I met Patriji sir in the year 2005, I was a principal in a school called Satpura Valley Public School, and it was an experiment.
Where was it? In which state?
It is in Madhya Pradesh, exactly midway between Nagpur and Bhopal, and so that's where I first met Patriji sir. And I was the principal in the school there, and it was an experimental school where we were looking at freedom for the children, burdenless education, integration in learning, community learning enterprise, all these things. But there was so much of tension and confusion about it. It was September 2005. I don't remember the date. If I had maintained the diary, probably I would have mentioned it. He came there, and we were a group of around 10 people, and I was embarrassed that Patriji sir has come all the way and only 10-12 people are there. But Patriji sir had the same enthusiasm. That was amazing. Same energy, same enthusiasm. Then he called me to do the introduction. I did some introduction. Then we meditated. I think that was the first meditation I had. And one experience I can tell you is that before doing meditation, I remember talking to one of my friends where I said, this school is not running well, people are complaining, management is not supporting, teachers simply take off, they just send me an SMS saying that they don't want to come today and all. Struggle. 2 months later, the same person called me and I told him, wow, the school is working wonderfully and all these things. Then the same person asked me to give the phone to my wife because he knows both of us. And then he asked my wife, what? The school has changed so much. My wife said, no, the school didn't change. Jagdish has changed. This is my experience there. So in a way, me being into this world of meditation, I think has protected a lot of children's lives. I have contributed to the lives of children. My own children and my wife, I think the kind of influence I have on them is far better than what it was before meditation. So there is a way in which I'm thankful, I'm really grateful that I'm able to protect the interests of children in the way it needs to be protected. Rather than, as you said initially in the interaction, that we have no right to test it. In fact, I believe that we have no right to even corrupt their consciousness by telling them things that may not make sense in the long run. So I think this conversation is very important for me in the sense that, it is about how we protect what we are meant to do, about, we are taken birth, we do that. But one thing here, sir, I got it because you were there. Because you were there. You had a masterful influence.
I went there because you wanted that to happen.
What do you mean, sir?
Yes.
What I mean, I can sense the beauty in what you are saying. But what is that actually? That I remember you saying that.
When the disciple is ready, master will appear. So the master will appear only when the disciple is ready. Okay. When the disciple is ready, master will appear. वो चप्पल पार कर आ जाता है.
Correct.
So that's what happened.
Exactly.
Because you were ready.
I was beautiful. It was a beautiful experience.
Yeah.
For me. It's a very profound interaction. Sir, for young parents who are about to become parents, who are just married, or who have very young children, who are struggling for admitting
First
their
of all,
school.
You cannot marry without being a meditator.
Okay.
You cannot produce children without getting a certificate from me that you are a meditator.
Beautiful, sir.
Because marriage and children, parenting is a very big subject. And see, for driving on the roads, you need a license. For marriage, you don't need a license from me.
Exactly. We require that.
Before you get married, again, you come back to me.
But you can see my hair, I'm married now. I have a 17-year-old daughter. But I believe what you are saying, sir. I really understand what
Even for a driver, you need a license, driver's license, whether you are a proper driver or not.
Okay.
Unless you are a proper human being, how can you get married?
Exactly.
So who will give you a certificate that you are a proper human being? Yeah. And how will you become a proper human being?
Yeah.
Only when you will do meditation.
Yeah. Exactly.
So let this be known to the whole world. Whoever wants to get married, first get a certificate from me.
I think this is a very beautiful way of concluding this conversation before we begin some more. It's very beautiful, sir. I am very sure that it's not just insightful, but also quite entertaining in the conversation. I look forward for more conversations. Ultimately,
before getting married, before becoming a parent, you must come into meditation.
After becoming a parent, sir?
Before you decide to become a parent, you must come into meditation.
Very sure. But some people have become parents now.
So better late than never.
Better late than never.
That's it.
That's it, sir.
But they are already late.
Exactly.
But better late than never.
I was late. But I am better late than never. I got into that. Sir, thank you so much, sir. I really enjoyed this conversation. It's humor. There is a lot of heat here, but this is profound. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye, sir. Thank you, sir.
PMC நேயர்களுக்கு ஒரு வேண்டுகோள். வீடியோ மூலமாக மேலும் ஆன்மீக தகவல்கள் பெற விரும்பினால் சப்ஸ்கிரைப் எனும் பட்டனை அழுத்தவும். இதை பற்றிய அறிவிப்புகளை அறிய வேண்டுமானால் பெல் எனும் பட்டனை அழுத்தவும்.